Good evening. So my name is Felicia Chu, and I'm running for City Council, Ward 3. Thanks so much for coming out. Thank you, Leah, Sarah, and TMC. The reason I'm running for City Council, I've been a teacher for the past 20 years, and something that I've noticed is that there are gaps when we look at my families, of my students, and what I'd like to do is use city resources to bridge those gaps. Experience-wise, I've been chairperson of the Citizen Police Advisory Review Board. I served on that board for 4 years, and I was the mayor's appointment. What else? My son, Noah, who's way in the back there, waving at everybody. He and I like to participate in community art organizations like Valley of the Moon, the Tucson Origami Club. Also, I have served as PTO president for my son's school. I'm currently the PTO president now. And I have volunteered with the Watershed Management Group, and I'm currently a victim advocate through the Pima County Attorney's Office. So why am I running again? To bridge those gaps. And if we look at Ward 3, we notice that there are different challenges that happen in them. One of the challenges is we have 84,000 residents, and only 8,000 of them are likely to vote. Another challenge that we have is of our median income. In the city, it's $37,000, and in Ward 3, it's only $27,000. The final challenge that I'd like to address is the challenge that we have with mental health and addictions that go on through kind of all of our community. In Ward 3, we have the methadone clinic that has been placed there, and there are some challenges that come with that. I believe that we should not be criminalizing behaviors of individuals, but we should be finding ways to support them. So as councilwoman, that's what I would be doing, is working towards being an advocate and amplifying our voices. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm running for city council because I believe we need a strong Democrat who will stand up for the people and groups in Tucson that are being attacked by Donald Trump. If you're both rich and white, you might be okay these days, but if you're anybody else, you're probably under attack by Trump. I am emphasizing 3 things: solar energy and sustainability, neighborhoods and jobs. I hope I get a chance to expand on those tonight. A little about myself. I grew up in Spokane, Washington, where my father was an elementary school principal. I learned the value of education at an early age. I was about 9 years old when he was transferred from the poorest school in the entire district to one of the wealthiest. I really got to see, from stories he told around the dinner table, the huge difference in opportunity that we provide to the haves and have-nots in our society. I went to University of Washington for undergraduate, Stanford for law school, and later picked up an MBA in finance from the University of Colorado, going to night school when I lived there. I worked for over 2 decades advising businesses, large and small, and across many industries to help them grow. I learned from that experience what's important to business, and I want to put that knowledge to use in improving our local economy. I came to Tucson in 2004, worked immediately on the John Kerry campaign, and then managed Nina Trasoff's city council run in 2005, was her chief of staff for a little over a year, her first year in office, and have been active in the Democratic Party and many other organizations since then.
Great, thank you, Paul. And please hold your applause for our tiny purposes. Thank you. Tom Johnson.
The other night, my wife and I were sitting around talking about this campaign and how there are a lot of similarities between all of us and the issues. And I was really trying to stress to her why I wanted to do this job, why this job matters to me to be the council member for Ward 3. And I figured it's, sure, I've lived in the ward since 1983. Sure, I went to high school and college in the ward. But the reason I want to make a difference is because I believe I have a set of experiences, unlike anybody else that we really had on the council, especially for Ward 3 in a really long time. When we talk about making hard decisions every week as a city, I believe I can make that decision the best. Why? Because we talk about growing businesses, supporting small businesses. Well, I run a small business. I own Canyon Fence Company. I sign paychecks. I talk to my employees every day. I understand what it takes to grow a business and survive in the city of Tucson, especially when we've had some economic troubles in the last few years. You know, when we talk about how do we help education, well, I sat in the site council for Tucson Community School and the Abbey School where my son goes. I understand it. My perspective is different. If we're going to talk about mass transit, I get it. I had to rely on public transportation to go to high school and college. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here today. So all these different experiences matter. If we're going to engage commissions and city organizations, well, I was on this small business commission. I was on the city Park and Rec Commission for Ward 3 long before, to be honest, before any of the people even lived in Ward 3. So I've been representing this ward for a long time. And that's why I decided, when my wife and son and I were talking, really now's the time to make a difference. Everybody else has really great intentions and has some nice ideas. But the reality is, I've lived in the ward for the longest and have done the most in the ward on a daily basis. I think that'll make me the best candidate. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Gary Watson.
Good evening. Sorry, let me get that out of the way. Thank you for inviting me to this. A lot of you are just getting to meet me for the first time. My name is Gary Watson. I'm an independent that's running for City Council in Ward 3. My background is I'm a firefighter. I've been a firefighter for 20 years, serving in around Tucson and the surrounding communities. I work with Northwest Fire. I've been a paramedic for 20 years, worked in the community. So I've been a public servant. Serving as a city council member is just taking my public service to the next level. I'm also a teacher in our community. I work with JTED. I hope you guys know the JTED programs. I've been with there for over 9 years. I believe JTED is a phenomenal resource for Southern Arizona that we aren't tapping into as well as we could. And I'm also a union leader. As a union leader, we've been lobbying the state capitol for multiple issues. We've lobbied in DC. So I do understand the political side of this as we move forward. The reason I decided to run for city council is recently we did the Prop 101 election. We did notice that over the years with the recession, the city had to make some tough choices and make some cuts. We had to cut a lot of the services that we're providing, particularly in public service. As we're coming out of that recession and as the citizens were wonderful enough to vote yes on Prop 101, we want to start rebuilding our public safety in Tucson, both fire and police. We also have a lot of road issues. Everyone knows about those. The city needs to have some transparency in the way we spend the money from Prop 101. I want to make sure that it goes where it's supposed to go. We also have a lot of other challenges in Tucson that we need to face with our economy. We need to help our small businesses that have helped us get through the recession, that are struggling. We need to put our focus back on the small businesses that are here, that have stayed here and that have struggled, and help them get back on their feet by providing incentives for them, by also providing a workforce for them, and also providing a market for them. We have challenges with transportation, not just with roads, but with our bus system. We have the streetcar, we're bringing in bicycles. There's a lot of challenges Tucson are facing as we move forward. We still have a small pie to pay for all of this with. I bring solutions to the table. I'm not a politician. I don't serve a party. I don't serve anything other than the citizens of Tucson. And hopefully tonight, as you hear our choices, you'll get to know me better. Thank you.